Milestone tables can be a very useful tool for monitoring schedule performance. Of course, the program can do this by showing the milestones against the baseline dates. However, I always think there's benefit to extracting this information into a more user-friendly spreadsheet, where you can build up a table of important milestones that can be discussed in meetings or distributed internally or amongst the supply chain, or even printed and displayed as visuals around the office or even site. So what is a milestone? Well, it's a key moment in time, normally represents either the start or the finish of something or other. So milestones are not work tasks, they don't have a duration, they don't have any effort associated with them, they're just a significant marker within the larger schedule. So, for example, the obvious ones would be the start and finish of the contract, the planned completion date, the contractual completion date, and so on. But there's definitely value in breaking larger programs into a series of milestones, and often it makes it much easier to visualize various phases of the work across a timeline. Now, some projects might have half a dozen key milestones and some might have significantly more than that. But I just want to show you a way that I like to update milestones as the project progresses. This is a very simplified version, and fair to say it's not the prettiest looking report in the world, but this kind of thing is easy to digest and easy to update if you set up your spreadsheet in a way so as to make your life easy. So on screen now we've got a mock-up of a bridge construction program. Now at the top of the program we've got all of our milestones. We've got contractual milestones, project milestones, and then a set of 6 construction milestones. And then further down we've got the usual pre-construction, some design, some procurement items, and then the construction itself, which is just rolled up for this example because we don't need to use it. It's always a good idea to put your milestones at the very top of the program so that whenever you print it off or display it, all of the key information can be seen on the very first page. Now what I'm going to focus on for this example are these 6 milestones here, and they just represent various points in time in the construction of the bridge itself. So we've got one for the start of the structure, which needs a crane, and one for the end of the deck, which means the crane can disappear. So that's your start and finish of your crane prelims, and then some individual completion milestones for various stages of the bridge. Now, if I just flick over to the spreadsheet, what you'll see here is a very basic milestone tracker. Again, it's not particularly pretty, but for the purposes of demonstration, it does the trick. So we've got those same 6 milestones in this column here, and then next to that in this column, we've got the baseline dates. So these are the dates as they were in the baseline program. What we're going to be looking at is updating these dates, which are the current dates, so the updated dates as per progress. And then it's always a good idea to show what's happening between the two. So the variance column will show what's the difference between the current program date and the baseline date, and if it's red and negative it means you're falling behind, and if it's green and positive it means that you're ahead. It's always a good idea as well to show a countdown, how close are you getting to those milestones. So on this particular example I've got a bit of conditional formatting that will change the color of the countdown cell the closer that you get, from green when it's far away to amber when it's getting closer and red when it's within a couple of weeks. And all that's doing is looking at the difference between the current program date and today's date. And today's date appears up here. It also amends every day just by putting the formula as shown in the formula bar here, and that will just mean that every time you open the sheet it's already got today's date on. Keeps it live. And then underneath a bit of a funky timeline that just takes this information and spreads it across a linear graph so you can see all of your milestones, which you can actually show in project. If we just flick back to projects, we've got the timeline function at the top here, and there's nothing in this timeline at the moment, but if I just select these milestones and then right click, you'll notice you've got add to timeline. Click that and then they appear. Unfortunately they're a bit crunched up, doesn't always look the best, so that's why I always split it off into the spreadsheet itself. Now on this example we've only got 6 milestones, so typing these in would take me 30 seconds, wouldn't be a problem. On some bigger projects you might have 50, 100 milestones, or 20 for each section of the job, And in those examples, it would be much better if we can just copy and paste. So what I've got here is these dates are actually looking for a date in a separate cell, which is in the data dump sheet. And it's a sheet that we'll never use. All we do is we drop data into here, and the table on the front sheet automatically updates. Now all I'm going to do, go back to my program. I just want the updated. So in this pretend scenario, I've updated the project, and I just want these current dates. So I'm just going to select those dates and copy them. Now the reason that we have this row here is because whenever you copy and paste out of project, it always wants to paste in the column header as well. So by putting this sort of blank row in here, you're giving that column header somewhere to go. So if I just paste those dates in, and then that's automatically going to update the dates in this table here. And it's as simple as that. It saves me a few seconds, but on a much bigger program, it'll save you a lot of time. And you'll notice that some of these have changed now because the dates have changed. So if I just undo that paste and go back, you know, we had a couple that were behind, 3 ahead. Life was looking quite good. If we then repaste those back in, you'll see now that 3 are behind, 1's bang on time, and only 1 of them is slightly ahead. So this just makes a nice, quick and easy way to update your timeline as you do program updates. And then you can just grab all this, print it off as a PDF, distribute it on email. If you've got these separated out for certain subcontractors, you can send them a latest revision, and so on and so forth. So hopefully you find something like that useful. I've never not found a use case for a milestone tracker on a project. They're very good, very easy to see the status of work. You can print them out and put them on site in certain areas. And if you can set your tracker up in this way to just be able to dump information in on a copy paste, then it's very, very quick to monitor and update as you go on.